Hey guys, this is Viper from Beast of Calgary. I'm just making a short video on the basics of this game. It's meant for as an introduction to the game for those that haven't played it or have been playing this a very, very short time. Right off the bat, I'm going to let you know that I do have other videos that you may be interested in that might give you a little bit more information. So this one here, for example, is a kind of help guide that kind of helps you with your organization of your map, your roster, gives other tips and hints. I talk about your team, your hero roster, team slot usage. I talk about your training camps. I also talk about, I actually do some raids, and I talk about some of the strategies within your raids or within the actual gameplay. Talk about ghosting, which is really important, something you need to know about. So this is a little bit. This is for kind of like the next step after this video that you're watching right now. But if you are interested in some more tips and hints, watch that video. It's about 37 minutes long. It's obviously part of my, it's in my um, video playlist. You can Google this particular one. So, with that said, let's talk about the game a little bit. So right off the bat, this is your map. Your map is basically your land, your chunk of land where you get to build up your property. When you first start off, you don't get a whole lot of land. I believe you start with a small, small, small chunk. And as you proceed through the levels of your stronghold, this over here is your stronghold. As you proceed through those levels, you'll get more and more parcels of land, and you'll get more and more options to build on those parcels of land. Okay. So let's start off by talking about what we have on our screen here. So up in the top left-hand corner, we have the player profile. From here, I can change my avatar. I can see some of my history. I can see, my highest number of trophies I've had, the longest raid win streak, the biggest Titan I've defeated, so on and so on. My highest Titan damage for a single Titan in a single shot. So I have a 142,000 point shot there. So that's what this particular screen is. Below your avatar logo, so below the Viper, you've got the little bar with the 61. That's what level you're on, and obviously I'm quite low in that level. When I click that avatar, it's the same thing at the top here. It still says I need over 1 million experience points to get to that next level. Every time you level up, you get some additional perks. Okay, so look at the top of the bar. We've got, let's break down what we have here. So the very first one, that's your world energy. That's that red flag. That is energy that is used to battle inside the quests, which is over here, okay, or to battle on your map, which is any of these particular events. And when you click these, you can see how much there were. So this one here is worth 3. Okay, and if I was to go, for example, into season 3 and go into this province, and there's the normal version, which is 6, and then I can do the hard version, which would be worth 10. Okay, so that is what your world energy is used for. The next one is your raid energy. That is the number of flags you have to raid. Okay, so let's go back for a second. The world energy refills every 10 minutes, you get 1 flag. Okay, um, your raid energy, it refills 1 for every hour, and that there is used in your raid. So you get 2 places you can raid from. One is over in the bottom left-hand corner, that little skull. You can click here, you can find an opponent, and you can raid. Okay. The other way you can raid is by clicking your watchtower. That's this right here. You can enter into the watchtower, and in here it keeps track of all your raids, both outgoing and ingoing. So you can see here I've had enemies that have raided me and they've lost. I've won. And there's also been some that I've lost. And when you lose one, you can actually revenge your raid and try to beat them back. Okay. The whole points of raids is to win those cups, which is in the bottom corner here, the trophy ratio. You also hear it being termed cups. And so what you have here is obviously if I win 21 trophies. If I lose 40. And my trophies are up here in the top next to my avatar. Obviously, you don't want to be losing, but you kind of want to try to find that ratio close to the opposite direction, right? You want more of the positive, and that for that to happen, you are probably going to be going up against a team that you are underpowered in. But that's what you want. You want to go in underpowered. You never want to be the team that's overpowered. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of trophies. So that's what the raid is. You could raid there. The next flag is your Titan energy, and that is used for Titan battles. Titan battles is a team related battle. You have to be part of an alliance. And here you can go ahead and battle a Titan. And as you're battling a Titan, you do that as a team. So here we have a whole team. Everybody's been hitting at it. At the end of it, you get loot, which obviously you need to build up your team. Next, you've got the number of gems you have. Those, never spend those on silly things. Keep those to get things like more roster space or better heroes. Don't waste those on any other things. So, for example, here's the shop. Okay. In the featured section of the shop, you can buy all these different things here, and they do change. Highly, highly recommend not spending it on any of these. There's the gems for that. Don't do it. It's rarely, rarely, rarely worth it. Some people like to spend it on the loot tickets. That's not a bad option, but otherwise, don't do it. Okay. If you do want to do it on something, maybe on a really cool avatar, if you want to get something, these do change on a daily basis. So just look in here to see what's in there. Okay. Also, you can buy gems, and as you can see, these are based on Canadian prices. Depending on where you live, the prices are different. Once again, don't recommend spending on those, but that's obviously a personal choice. There is a VIP pass. Um, of all the things, if you're going to be spending money, this is the one thing I probably would recommend spending money on. Um, it gives you gems, it gives you uh, daily class emblems, it gives you loot every day, it gives you a second builder, which is actually the most important piece out of that, which helps you build quicker and therefore you'll get stronger quicker as well. So if you're going to spend money, that's actually not a bad place to do it. But once again, it's not necessary to play this game. Um, then you've got your resources. Once again, I was talking about how it's probably not worth ever spending money or gems on any of this stuff. But if you do, the hero cap increase will probably be the spot that you do it, or on the extra teams if you feel like it. And last but not least, you've got battle items. So these are items you can use against your Titans or in the map play. Once again, personal choice. So that is the very, very top row. Below that top row, we've got our three bars. The first one is the food. The food is what you use to either pay to level your heroes, or it's also pay is what you use to pay to build your different buildings. Okay, so you got your food. You also have your iron, which is also used to upgrade your buildings. And not only is it used for upgrading your buildings, it's used to build crafts like these guys. So if we go in here, you can see that this craft uses the food, whereas let's see, this craft uses the iron. So you do need both. The iron is also used to ascend heroes. Ascend means bring them to the next level. So for example, here I need Ham to ascend. But if I have a hero that is max, like this one here, I can go to my talent grid, and then I will actually need the iron and the ham to increase or to give them the emblem. Okay, so we'll talk more about that later, but you do need a lot of that, so you need to have that continuously full. The last one is your recruits. The recruits are used in your training camps. So you can go into a training camp and it'll cost you a certain amount of recruit, potentially a certain amount of food as well to build up a brand new hero. Those heroes, so for example, right now I've got one hero. This is the one I'm going to claim, and I can take that hero and then use it to feed and level up my other better heroes. So here I go, level up uh, my Gravemaker hero. Okay, so that's what that is used for. So you do want recruits, and you're going to put those into your training camps. On the side here, you've got three chests. Those chests will change periodically, but the very, very top one's usually the monster chest. The second one is your raid chest, and the third one is your Titan chest. The monster chest is for you. You fill up by killing 100 heroes. Those heroes could be part of raids, and they could also be part of your map quests. Okay. The raid one is 40 heroes, and that is purely based off of raids, or could also be from your tournament raids. So this tournament raids, these count as part of those heroes. The last one is Titans, and that is done as a team. So every time you kill a Titan, so this guy here is almost done, it's going to count as part of my Titan chest. Every once in a while, you'll get a special one called a colored chest, and it's specifically based on the color of the hero. So, for example, it might be a purple chest, which means you have to kill purple heroes to open up that chest. Each chest gives you loot, and those loot are very important because you need those to upgrade your heroes. So, for example, here you can see the required materials. Quite often you hear mats. We'll call them mats. The different mats that are required. Okay. So that's basically that top part of the screen. The last one's that Summons Gate. So when you click that Summons Gate, this is where you can actually get more heroes. The very bottom one, the daily summons, you're not going to get really good heroes. You're going to get the maximum of a 3-star hero. Okay. And you can get free heroes this way. Um, and you'll get coins, which are those silver coins, to get free heroes. You could also get troops. That's what these ones are, right? So anytime you see those 4, those are troops. The singles are heroes. So you can get random heroes or troops from this one here. The Epic Troop Summons. This one here is going to give you just troops, and you're going to need troops to make your heroes better. You want 4-star troops preferably, but you'll have to work your way to that. Then the next two are your epic hero summons. Epics will actually give you 4 and 5-star, but you'll also get your fair share of 3-stars in here. Okay. When you click the little eye in the top corner, it gives you the odds of getting a particular level of hero. So, for example, legendary is a 5-star, you have 1.5% chance of getting it. Very, very low odds. Don't ever be spending money on this expecting to get a hero because you may never get them. Okay, I've been playing for almost 2 years now. I still haven't gotten Vivica, which is a hero that is available in here, um, and it just doesn't happen, right? The very top one is your elemental. Elemental means that they're all going to be based on a particular color. Right now, it's green. This goes on a cycle and it changes every, I believe, 24 hours, a little bit longer than 24 hours. The very top here, you've got your hero of the month. Every month they release a brand new hero. They're usually the newest and best heroes. And you get that by pulling either the elemental or the epic, and you've got a 1.3% chance of getting it. Now, with that said, there are additional heroes that, I shouldn't say heroes, additional summons that pop up periodically, once a month. One of them is your Atlantis. Atlantis has brand new heroes that have to do with season 2, and then you have the Valhalla heroes, which is part of season 3 heroes. Also, on a roughly 10 to 12-day cycle, there is a particular event that comes out. Um, Sorry, might actually be monthly. I apologize. Monthly, there's an event that comes out with specific heroes, and there's actually 5 events that rotate throughout the year. And then there's also 4 seasonal events, which are usually about 3-week long events, 2 to 3 week long events. And there's one in the spring, there's one in the fall, there's a summer one, and there's a Christmas one. So those will come up as well, and you have opportunities to get heroes during those events. And there are other things that come up. There's a costume summons, which comes up, which will allow you to get specific heroes that have costumes, which is supposed to basically take season 1 heroes and make them better. And then now, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to have a new one called the Legends of Tavern. That'll come up as a separate summons gate as well. Now, on the left-hand side, the very first little icon here you see is just the deal. They come out with deals on a daily or once every couple of days. Below that one is Path of Valor. That's a relatively new system. Basically, you have challenges. As you beat through the challenges, you can get better and better rewards. You can buy a VIP to this. If you do, you get everything in column 1. If you don't, you still get the stuff in column 2. So you don't have to pay to get that stuff. Now, that being said, um, this particular event is a 50-day event. And so you have 50 days to complete all the challenges to be able to get all the materials. In this case, the most important ones are these two right here in level 48. And what I would recommend is never buy this until you get to that point. Because if you get to this and then you want to buy it, you can. Um, and you'll get everything that you bypassed as well. So everything will open up to you and you can go back and pick up all those other things that you didn't get beforehand. So if you're a person that does spend on this game, that would be the way I would do that. Okay, so here's the challenges. For example, I completed that challenge, so I'm getting a little bit closer to that goal, and then I could always make that purchase if I want to buy that stuff. The next one is your quests. These are always here. These change. You notice here there's a timer on this quest, 13 hours. This one here has 18 hours. In here, this is where you'll find special events, things like that. That's where you're going to play them. So if I click this one here, for example, there's always some kind of small little story, and then here's the different events. It does tell you the recommended team power that you need to fight that particular event, the number of world energy flags you need, and then what items you're going to win are next to that. The raids I've kind of already discussed. There is a tournament that has special rules each time. Make sure you read the rules. In this case here, they're not allowing any purple or dark heroes. So just keep that in mind. And then at the very bottom of your screen, you've got your very, very bottom left-hand corner button switches between your two map views. This is your map view, which you can see season 1, season 2, and season 3. Those are your storylines, and you can follow through the stories as you're beating through the levels. You're going through the storyline and the provinces. Um, I would start with season 1. If you can get to season 2, do so. That'll help you get some Atlantis coins to get better heroes from the season 2 for free. And then season 3 is the newest season. Right now, they've opened up to Province 9. I haven't been playing this lately, so I haven't opened it up all the way, but that's where you should be as of right now. So the base will obviously take you to this main screen. So that's what that is. You can toggle between the two. Then you've got your heroes. Obviously, that gives you your roster. Okay, you've got your missions. These are some additional stuff to get you some additional points. They're kind of pointless, to be honest. Then you've got your alliance logo. This lets you go into your alliance. You can see who's on your team, how many cups they have or trophies they have. If you click on somebody, you can see their roster. You can see whether they're active or not active. You can see how long they've been with your alliance. But if somebody leaves your alliance, comes back, it does reset. Also in here, you can see a message from your team on the top. It's called your banner. You can see how many members, your requirements, and your team trophies and things along those lines. Okay. Now, you've got your Titans. So you can see your Titan information. Wars. So we actually just finished a war. This is what the war looks like. Here's a battlefield. Um, and basically, it's us versus them, and you want to try to get the most points. Unfortunately, this particular match, we were defeated. We were definitely overpowered, which is good. It just means that we're continuously hitting over our heads. And the last one is a search if you want to search for alliances, things along those lines. Then you've got your inbox. So here you'll get messages from the game, from the developers. And then lastly, you've got your menu. This menu here will swap those bottom options. So I click that, you'll see that swaps. Now I've got my rankings. Rankings will tell me where I am in terms of my trophies, also in terms of the alliance. The shop is the same thing as clicking that little gem one at the top there, that little plus. It's the exact same thing. Obviously, your options. One thing I really want to point out about your options, if you go to support, you can see your recent activity. You can click that and it'll show you things that you've used, consumed, fed to your heroes. If you bought things with money, it'll show up in here as well. And then your about section. And then the last one, which is probably the most important, is your inventory. In here, show you any new items that you've picked up. So for example, since I've last logged into this, I've picked up 20 challenge coins. I've picked up some Valhalla coins, sorry, some loot tickets. The things you're going to want to know about most of these materials. These first 6 materials, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Actually, there should be a 7th one, but I don't have any right now. They're rings. These are your main ones to power up your 5-star heroes. So they're really important to know which ones they are and use them very carefully because they don't come around very often. And there's all your other stuff as well in here. Okay. Same thing with your troops. Your troops are quite important. You're going to need those as well. Okay, so that's pretty much in terms of that. Let's look around the map. Here we've got our iron. Our mines. Those will give us our iron. These little wind towers are your farms. Um, so that's where you would collect your ham. We've got in this bottom corner, we've got our training camps. Quite often you'll hear them being called TCs, and you'll hear people say TC20, TC19, TC2, TC11. That's what it's referring to. In a specific level will allow you to train certain type of heroes, or give you an opportunity to train for certain type of heroes. Here we've got our storage. The more advanced your storage is, the higher the level, the more iron and food you can hold in here. So basically, it's your banks to hold those. In this corner, we've got our house. That is used to keep your recruits in. Once again, higher level of the house, the more recruits you can hold in here. Then you've got your forge. That will allow you to craft different items, whether it's potions or items to use in attacks. We've got another craft item. This is like an advanced one. It's called the Hunter's Lodge. The Hunter's Lodge, once again, lets you craft a bunch of different stuff. As you can see, I don't have a lot of mine done because I really don't care about it. And then over here we have our barracks. That's for troops. So here you can level up your troops. You can take a troop. So for example, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to level it up a bit. Okay, so you can see me doing that and hit level up. So that's what that's for. Now, that being said, when you click them, you'll see you've got the convert option. So right now, this originally was a forge, and I converted it to a barrack, and I can actually convert it back if I wish. Okay, so if I click that, it takes 10 seconds, it'll go back, and then it'll give me the opportunity um, to use whatever the other item is. In this case, it's actually the Craft Forge, and I don't have it maxed out yet, so I'm actually going to upgrade it right now. When I click it, it says I need this much iron, no problem, boom, done. So now that's going to max out because I haven't maxed it yet. So you can do that with a lot of these, right? But now I don't have enough builders to actually do this, right? Because I used up my last builder. Um, there is advanced versus regular mines. Advanced mines just make more mines quicker. The most important one is this stronghold. You need to make sure you're continuously upgrading your stronghold. The higher that goes, the more options you'll get, the more items you can build. So you might only have 2 farms to start or a farm and a mine to start. As you build up that particular stronghold, you'll get more items. Also, you're going to want to build up your watchtower because it allows you to produce food and iron as well at a fast rate. And it also allows you to hold more as you build it up. Okay, so that's basically it in terms of the basics. You're not going to be able to do a lot of stuff until you join an alliance, so make sure you do that. Gameplay wise, here is your Titan. This one here is a red Titan. So let's talk about the gameplay real quick. Let's do just a basic map play. Let's go season 1 map play. So these are the enemies I'll be facing. Here's some of the loot I can win by facing them. I can change my roster here by just clicking a name. I could pick a different person, or you can have preset rosters. And you can also pick different battle items to take into the battles with you. I'll be honest with you, I never, ever, ever use it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and fight real quick just to quickly show you the basics of this. In the top corner here, you're going to see this elemental advantage map, and it basically shows you how to best make use of your tiles and your heroes. So what you're seeing here says green has more power up against yellow, or sorry, against the blue. Blue is more powerful against the red. Red's more powerful against green. If you think of it, it makes a lot of sense. These are all nature pieces. So you've got fire burns grass. Grass, I don't know what it does to water, but water definitely puts out a fire. So that's what that basically is. Um, and then for the purple and yellow, the purple is strong against the yellow and vice versa. So what will happen here is, for example, if I'm playing this, if I was to send green into that blue, it's going to have more strength compared to, so if you notice that it was like 206 for a hit per tile there. If I throw a red up into it, it's much weaker, 62, 66. Okay, so that is what that is. So for example, I'd rather throw up a green into that. I don't have any greens. A blue will still do damage, just not as much as, let's say, the green would. Same thing here in the bottom of your heroes. You see the little blue tile moving. That's called your mana. You want to power that up. Once you do, it'll allow your hero to fire off. So you can see that my yellow is powering up. Now, notice there's a gap there in between those two wolves, between the 3 and the 1. Any tiles that I throw up right in the middle of that, okay, is worth double the mana. So it'll speed up your leveling of your heroes. Okay, so we'll throw that in. My red guy is now powered up. I can pick a particular hero and I can go ahead and fire off on that particular hero, or on that particular, well, in this case, monster. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Now, if you make sets of 5, a set of 5 will give you a gem. The gem will then fire off and kill all of the, not kill, sorry, it'll set off a, there you go, there's a 5. So there's that gem I'm referring to. If I press that gem, it'll actually release all of the purple. So if I go ahead and click that, all the purple will then be released. If you do 4, a set of 4, so for example, a yellow here on the left-hand side, make a set of 4, it'll make a skull, and then that basically does kind of like a plus sign, and it'll kill, or it'll release the plus sign. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. And then you'll get a bunch of loot um, from that particular event. So here's all my loot. These loots will do different things. You'll get some experience points, you'll get some food, you'll get some iron, and you'll get some recruits every single time. Okay, and that's pretty much the gist of the game. If you want more, you're gonna probably want to watch another video. I go a lot more in depth about strategy. The one thing I will talk about real quickly, when you're leveling your heroes, your best strategy is to level. Actually, let's open up a hero. I should talk about this real quick. Every hero belongs to some form of class. Those are important because you could emblem up particular classes using emblems, and that'll give. So here's the emblems, and you can get additional, defense or additional special. So this guy here would have a chance to revive after he dies with 1 health point. When you're looking at this card, some of them are part of certain families. So this is a season 2 character, so it's Atlantis family, and you get bonuses for having whatever type of family that is. So if you have other members from that family, you get additional defense bonus. This guy here is maxed level. The very first one's your attack. That's how much your tile damage is worth. It's also what your 450, so this guy here says deals 450 damage to the target. That 450 is based off of that. Okay. Don't forget, it's also based off of the opponent's defense and health. So the numbers are not simple to calculate. The next one's your defense, how much damage you can receive, and so your health, so how much health you have as you're kind of playing the game. Then you've got your special. So the level 8 out of 8 means I've maxed out my special. And the mana speed is how fast that bar, that blue bar we were talking about earlier, how fast that fills. Fast means it's going to fill up in 7, I believe, tiles to fill it up. And I can actually, there's a lot more to that. I can actually show you that in a few moments. Then you've got the different specials below it. Make sure you always read all the specials. Okay. So what I was going to say was this: that level 8 out of 8. To get 8 out of 8, what happens is when you go to level a hero. So for example, I'm going to try to level this guy. Um, you can see. Actually, let's go level somebody who's not yet leveled. I'm going to switch this. Normally, I keep this by element. So there we go, by element, level up. So you're going to see here it says the special level up chance is 0%. When I click that guy, now it's worth 1% chance of leveling that special. That's referring to that 8 out of 8. Odds are, the rules are that you want that number to be around 20% to have a decent chance of getting it. You don't need to be 50, 40, 40%. 20 is enough to eventually be full before you max your hero. Now, if you feed this guy with purples, it'll be worth more. If it's a 1 star versus a 2 star versus a 3 star, each level of hero will also give you a greater chance of that happening. Also, the number of experience points that bar is increasing by increases the better the hero, and also if it's the same color. So strategy wise, when you're feeding very early on, you want to feed 10 of the same color to each hero. So what I do is you pick 5 heroes. Here's the ones that I'm leveling right now. It's that second team. I've got one of every color in there. I'm leveling those guys. And what I do is I feed only purple to the purple one, only yellow to the yellow one, only blue, so on and so on, until it's 8 out of 8. Once it's 8 out of 8, then it really doesn't matter. But if you want to be the most efficient, that's how you should do it, is feed the same color to the same hero. There are other strategies. I'm at the point now where my roster is so big, I don't do that anymore. I have enough heroes of every color. So for example, right now I'm working on Gravemaker. He's getting every single bit of food. Now, if you notice, if you want, you can rewind this, but the purple hero, when I was clicking this hero, they were only getting 150 experience, but because it's red to red, it's actually worth 180. So that's what we mean by being efficient in feeding your heroes to level them up. So 180 experience points going to the reds better than 150 going to the purple, just because, well, that's 30 experience points that I'm literally throwing in the garbage. Okay, so that's the only thing I want to teach you there about that. But aside from that, watch the other video. There's a lot more information, more strategies. I hope you enjoy this game. It is lots of fun. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below.